Between 1817 and 1821, the Bell family of Adams, Tennessee, found themselves at the center of one of America's most notorious and enduring supernatural phenomena. This period marked the onset of what would become known as the Bell Witch Hunting, an often terrifying series of events that would leave an indelible mark on the folklore of the region. John Bell, a simple farmer, moved with his wife Lucy and their children to countryside of Robertson County in 1804. For over a decade, they enjoyed a peaceful and productive life on their 320-acre farm. However, their serenity was shattered in 1817 when the family began experiencing inexplicable disturbances. Before we dive in, please remember to hit the like button to support this episode if you are enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about our weekly episodes. Without hesitation, let's get into it. The Bell family lived in Adams, Tennessee during the early 19th century. The family patriarch was John Bell, who was originally from North Carolina. He and his wife Lucy Bell moved to Tennessee around 1804. The family lived on a farm they had purchased in Robertson County, which was a relatively remote and rural area at the time. The Bells had several children: Jesse, John Jr., Drury, Benjamin, Esther, Zadok, Elizabeth, Williams, and Joel. The Bell family was well respected in their community. John Bell was a farmer and over time became a prosperous landowner. Lucy Bell was known for her kindness and hospitality. The children were raised in this environment, contributing to the family farm and participating in the local community. Their farmhouse was a simple, modest structure typical of the period, surrounded by farmland and located near the Red River. The family led a life centered around farming, community interactions, and typical rural activities of the time. Each member of the family played a role in the daily operations of the farm, and their lives were intertwined with the rhythms of the agrarian calendar. The Bells were active members of their local church and were considered upstanding citizens by their neighbors. The Bell Witch hunting began in 1817 with a series of subtle, unsettling incidents on the Bell family farm in Adams, Tennessee. It started when John Bell, the family patriarch, encountered a strange, dog-like creature with the head of a rabbit while walking through his fields. Disturbed by the sight, he shot at the animal, which disappeared. This bizarre encounter marked the beginning of what would become a harrowing and infamous ordeal. Shortly after this incident, the Bell family began to hear mysterious knocking and scratching sounds on the walls and floors of their log cabin. At first, the noises were faint and sporadic, but they quickly escalated, becoming louder and more persistent. The family initially suspected that rats or other animals might be responsible, but their attempts to identify a natural cause proved vain. As weeks passed, the disturbances intensified. The knocking sounds were soon accompanied by the sound of heavy chains dragging across the floors and the distinct noise of stones being dropped. These eerie sounds were heard both day and night, preventing the family from finding any respite. Despite their efforts to locate the source of the noises, they could find no explanation. The hunting took a more sinister turn when the children, particularly John Bell's youngest daughter, Betsy, began experiencing physical assaults. Betsy was pinched, slapped, and had her hair pulled by an invisible force. These attacks left her with bruises and scratches, causing great distress to both Betsy and the entire family. The unseen entity seemed to take a particular interest in tormenting Betsy, often focusing its malevolent energy on her. The entity soon began to find its voice, initially manifesting as a faint whispering that grew louder over time. It started to speak clearly, engaging in conversations and quoting scriptures and hymns. The voice, which became known as the Bell Witch, expressed a deep hatred for John Bell and repeatedly threatened him with harm. The witch also taunted and harassed visitors to the Bell home, making it clear that it possessed an intelligence and malevolence that defied explanation. The Bell family's attempts to seek help from neighbors and friends brought more witnesses to the phenomena, further validating their experiences. Despite various efforts to rid themselves of the entity, the hauntings continued, marking the beginning of one of the most documented and eerie supernatural cases in American history. Many of the visitors experienced the same eerie sounds and physical assaults, confirming the Bell family's experiences and spreading fear throughout the community. The Bell Witch's activities were not confined to the Bell house. It was reported that the entity would follow visitors back to their homes, continuing to torment them with its malevolent presence. In an attempt to understand and perhaps mitigate the haunting, John Bell and his family invited several prominent members of the community to their home. Among these was James Johnston, a respected local figure who had spent a night at the Bell residence to witness the disturbances firsthand. Johnston and his wife were subjected to the same terrifying noises and physical attacks that plagued the Bells. The witch's voice grew stronger over time, capable of holding lengthy dialogues and revealing personal information about visitors, which added to the sense of dread and fascination. The Bell Witch seemed to have a particular vendetta against John Bell and his daughter Betsy. John Bell was frequently subjected to physical illness, including episodes of swelling and twitching in his face, which the witch claimed responsibility for. Betsy, on the other hand, was tormented relentlessly. The witch would slap, pinch, and pull her hair, causing her significant emotional and physical distress. Betsy's engagement to a local boy, Joshua Gardner, became a focal point of the witch's wrath. The entity vocally opposed their relationship, creating an atmosphere of fear and tension that eventually led Betsy to break off the engagement. Desperate for relief, the Bells turned to various methods in an attempt to rid themselves of the witch. They sought help from religious figures and tried exorcisms, but these efforts were unsuccessful. The Bell Witch seemed to defy all attempts at expulsion, growing stronger and more aggressive over time. John Bell's health continued to deteriorate under the relentless assault of the witch. By 1820, his condition had worsened significantly, and the witch intensified its attacks, often mocking him and predicting his impending death. In December 1820, John Bell passed away, and the Bell Witch gleefully claimed responsibility for his death. Declaring that she had poisoned him, after John Bell's death, the witch's activity decreased significantly, although it did not disappear entirely. The witch made a final appearance at the John Bell's funeral, where it was said to have sung joyfully and loudly, disrupting the proceedings. This last act of defiance further cemented its reputation and left an ineradicable mark on those present. In 1821, the witch allegedly informed the family that it would leave, but promised to return in 7 years. True to its word, the Bell Witch reappeared in 1828, primarily interacting with John Bell Jr. During this return, the witch engaged in lengthy conversations with him, discussing topics ranging from the past to the future, including predictions about the world events. However, this visit was less violent and disruptive than the initial haunting. After a few weeks, the witch departed again, this time promising to return in 107 years, in 1935. There are no documented reports of her return at that time, though the legend persisted. The Bell family's ordeal became a part of local and national folklore, with the story of the Bell Witch spreading far and wide. Over the years, the tale has been recounted in various books, documentaries, and even movies, ensuring that the legacy of the Bell Witch haunting endures. The Bell family continued to live in the area, with the next generations growing up with the stories of the haunting. The Bell Witch Cave, located on the Bell property, became a focal point for curiosity and speculation. The cave, which the witch was said to have used as a refuge, attracted visitors and researchers interested in the supernatural. Over time, it became a popular tourist attraction, drawing those fascinated by the tale of the Bell Witch. Despite the notoriety of their experiences, the Bell family sought to maintain a semblance of normalcy. They continued to work the land and participate in the community, even as the story of the Bell Witch became a part of the cultural fabric of Tennessee. The descendants of John Bell carried the memories and stories of the haunting, contributing to the preservation and perpetuation of the legend. The Bell Witch haunting is surrounded by numerous rumors and legends, each adding layers of mystery and intrigue to the already chilling tale. These rumors have persisted and evolved over time, becoming an integral part of the folklore associated with the haunting. One of the most enduring rumors is about the origin of the Bell Witch. Many believe that the entity was the spirit of Kate Batts, a local woman with a reputation for being strange and alleged witchcraft. According to the legend, Kate Batts had a dispute with John Bell over a land deal, and she vowed to haunt him and his descendants. Although there is no concrete evidence linking Batts to the hauntings, the entity was often referred to as Kate and seemed to acknowledge this name. The Bell Witch was rumored to have made several prophecies during its interactions with the Bell family and visitors. Among these were predictions about the Civil War, the Great Depression, and other significant historical events. Some accounts suggest that the witch accurately foretold the future, adding to its ominous reputation. However, these prophecies are largely undocumented and have become part of the mythos surrounding the witch. A popular rumor involves Andrew Jackson, who would later become the 7th President of the United States. According to this tale, Jackson visited the Bell farm to investigate the hauntings himself. It is said that Jackson and his men experienced terrifying phenomena, such as their wagons being immobilized and hearing disembodied voices. Jackson reportedly left the farm in a hurry, declaring he would rather face the British Army than the Bell Witch. There are varying rumors about the true intentions of the Bell Witch. Some believe that the witch was a vengeful spirit intent on destroying the Bell family, particularly John Bell and his daughter Betsy. Others speculate that the witch was attempting to communicate important messages or warnings, and its violent actions were misunderstood. This enigma has fueled endless speculation about the witch's true nature and purpose. The witch allegedly promised to return to haunt the Bell family 107 years after its last major appearance, which would have been in 1935. While there are no documented cases of a significant resurgence of activity in that year, some rumors suggest that the witch did return but chose to remain less noticeable. The anticipation of witch's return has kept the legend alive, with some believing that the entity still watches over the Bell descendants. Well, what do you think of the Bell Witch? Does it seem real or just another superstition? Is it possible that Bells made it up, maybe just for the fame? Or perhaps it was just a scientific phenomenon? Tell me about your opinion in the comment section. As always, thank you for your attention and stay tuned for more horror to come. Till the next time, see ya.